Yeah, so when he first walks in, you know, and you see this guy who's so big, he's built like a Division I offensive lineman. We did some individual work with Joey and one of my offensive line coach, and he looked over at me like, okay, this dude is for real. I asked Joey going into his senior year, I said, what do you want out of this game of football? He said, I want to show kids that are like me that they can play this game at a high level.
My name is Joseph Taisafi Sewell, and I play football for University of Arkansas.
Joey grew up from the age of 2, legally deaf, and he wears a cochlear implant.
It was Elena, Joey, and Daniel was 2 months old when he passed away.
Daniel passed away from SID, so sudden infant death syndrome.
Yeah. This was in September, but in December, Joey got sick. For some reason, this fever just stuck around.
All I remember is that I would have a bad headache, a really bad headache.
My heart, I was like, no, something's not right. So Joey goes to lay down, and he started seizing, and I've never seen seizures before. I rushed him to the hospital. They rushed him in the back, and they told me, ma'am, you need to get out of the way. And I knew something was bad. So I stepped back, and they all started gearing up. I said, what is going on? And they're all like, ma'am, your son has meningitis. We have to put him on life support. He's not breathing on his own. I walk into the bathroom, I dropped to my knees, and I started praying. I said, God, whatever you're doing, just don't take this one. I just felt this warm hand just touch me and said, everything's gonna be okay. And I looked up and I couldn't see who it was, but it felt so real because that hand was so warm. And turn around, go back in there. Joe and I were upstairs, and the doctor came and said, there's nothing we can do. He would never hear again. He would never see again. He would just be paralyzed. Joe just looked at him and he said, thank you, doctor. I know that you have your report, but the report that we believe in is God's report. God has the last word. And I said, you know what, doctor, my son's not dying today. My son's gonna live. And I said that out of boldness, but really not sure. And the doctor said, okay, you know, we'll follow up again tomorrow if he survives. Well, the next morning he walks in, he was like, all right, guys, I don't know what happened. Something happened, but this kid made it. He made it. Oh, he made it.
At first, I was like, I came back to life. And then when I heard about it, I was like, dang, I could have died. But like, you know, God put me where I'm at.
He finally woke up. And when he woke up, he asked for his dad. He was like, Daddy, Daddy. But we didn't know that he was deaf.
Jody ended up losing 60% of his hearing from that. Through all that, it was all through prayers.
God.
I mean, we stayed faithful and trusted God through the whole process.
There's so much more details of Joey's story, but we were able to leave there, and we still have him. That's all that matters.
If we pray for the thing that we want, he's gonna make us go through the pain and give us something even bigger.
I wasn't big on football, but Joe seen it, and Joe was like, I gotta get him into something.
To be honest, I didn't even think I was gonna play in football. In middle school, there was this one kid, they always like pick on me because I have a hearing aid on. I always think about like, how will they even accept me if I'm deaf? That's when I started like taking off my hearing aid, cochlear, and then I never wore them until like maybe 10th grade or 9th grade. That's when I realized if I want to play in the D1 school, I need to get my hearing right.
Us wanting to move Joey in a position, in a school that would utilize him in his full potential, we had to move out of California.
I first heard through a friend. He sent me a message saying, hey, they're transferring his mother to Bentonville, and his son is a football player. And I said, well, tell me more. I got notified that he had enrolled at Bentonville High School and had moved in our area. It was like Christmas in July. You know, those kids like that don't normally move in.
It scared me as a mom that here's my son with the hearing aid, that he has to go in there.
It was a big learning curve for all of us. And that's what I told Joey, is like, Joey, listen, we're gonna figure this out. We're gonna make it work, because you can do it. We put him at left tackle so he could hear the cadence of the quarterback. We wear Riddell helmets, and we had a Riddell guy come in and fit his head and cut that helmet where it fit around his implant.
Coach Grant, what he does is way different than I ever saw any other head coach. because he would like to lift us up and like push us, which is what I like about him. He would say like, think of your quarterback and your running back as like your parent, like your mom. So that kind of like pushed me like, oh, I don't want these D-line to come and tackle my mom. So I'll try to protect them. Coach Grant and my dad would be saying that all the time.
Coaching anybody with a disability, you have to think outside the box. So it forces you to become a better coach for that particular kid. I'm proud to say that I got to coach Joey and be a part of that.
I never thought I would be playing for the SEC or in Arkansas.
So the number Joey wears is 54. So Joey was in the hospital for 54 days, and he wears it proud, just enjoying the time. And he says, man, this couldn't have happened if God didn't give me back my days.
The 54 is a representing of how God gave me a second chance. It's not just a regular number for me. It really means something to me. No matter what's coming to me, the pain or the suffer or the stress it is, I can just fight through it because I know who's up by my side. Whatever I do is for God. No matter what I do, all the glory go to God.